G'day guys, welcome back to our Summer of Pain adventures. This is part 4 and today we are doing the tech objective. So we're going to be using Warlock, so he's you know, as the king of the tech class, obviously, has been for a long time now. He's one of our few max sig 6 stars, so I'm very proud of this guy. And yeah, we're going to be using him first off against this Mr. Sinister and then against the Hydro-adaptoid before obviously the Grandmaster. So this Sinister is similar to the 6.2 boss. Warlock is very good against this fight, but the tricky thing is just really not dexing because of EMP mod. You know, it's more like the old 6.2 Sinister. But yeah, dexing activates a buff on us, the precision buff, and which is one of those grey charges he gets. So whenever he throws a special with one of those, we get passively shocked, and that does quite a bit of damage if we get multiple of those. Here he hit, so here I really wanted to get a special 2 out of him. He wouldn't throw it, so I did throw a few 5-hit combos, and luckily the last hit of those combos crit, so he actually lost a bit of power from those. He finally throws it there. We do make a mistake there, and we do dodge it, but because we were concussed, it only gave him one EMP mod charge. Usually it would give 2, one for actually getting the buff, and then a second for losing the buff. But I think that's the last EMP charge he gets this fight, I think. So we pretty much just want to stick to special 3s this fight. The special 2s obviously do a lot of damage, but the special 3s we want to throw just to keep his power controlled. And it also gives us a bit of health back, which is really good. Makes the solo a lot easier. It's probably slower than spamming special 2, but it's a lot safer, and also the special 2 has recoil associated with it too, so we have to keep that in mind. But yeah, one of the other key nodes here is polka dot power. So we pretty much only gain power when he's suffering from a damage over time debuff. So we want to keep the bleeds from our heavies on as much as possible. So you'll see we'll be going for heavies between every combo pretty much. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the fight. It's probably, as in terms of which special we want to bait, normally it's a special 1 because that's just more simple. But the special 2 is actually better to bait in theory because we get that concussion on us, so we don't have to worry about dexing. That was really close there. I thought that heavy we would be at a special 3 right after, but we had to hit into his block, and luckily he didn't throw his special 3, and so he got ours, which means he's going to power drain now. But yeah, so when Mr. Sinister throws a special 2, we get concussed for a bit, and so whenever we dex, we don't actually give him any EMP mod charges because we don't get the buff, which is good. But the special 1 is fine. I wasn't able to parry it every time. It is very tricky to get the timing absolutely perfectly with parrying the beam, because obviously I'm not used to doing that. I'm used to normally just dodging it, and it can be quite a bit different. Big difference in damage. When we parry it, it only does like 600 damage, but when we miss the parry, it does like 2500. It's actually quite a bit different. So right now, the special 3 here, I think this is our 3rd one. So we're 100 hits in. He's getting close to dying. He is one of the beefier opponents, I think, out of all the fights. He has over 700,000 health. The Adaptoid that we fight next only has 500,000. So, but we also have class advantage here. We weren't running any boosts for this fight. We did put on some boosts right after this fight because I thought we'd need them, especially for the Hydro-adaptoid. Because this fight is much more Warlock friendly than the next one, and I'll go into why that is when we get to that fight. But last 10%, he's slowly trickling down from those bleeds. They're doing a decent amount of damage. And obviously deep wounds, having 5 out of 5 deep wounds is really helping here because it just means we get a lot more power from each bleed, from each heavy that we throw. You know, it's at least half a bar, I think, from each heavy. And there we go, finish him off with a special 2. And yeah, we got the solo. So it took me a few tries to get the solo, but I was happy to get it eventually. So this fight is, on paper, it's very not Warlock friendly at all. So whenever he throws a special attack, he gets a very long unstoppable buff. I can't remember exactly how long it is, but I want to say it's like 7 seconds. But pretty much we just want to throw 4 hit combos and then immediately hold block because we want to try to bait out heavy attacks, and because that means he won't be throwing specials. And the thing that's in our favor here is that this guy doesn't have a special 3, so we can safely keep doing that, and he won't ever throw a special 3 obviously because he can't. So that strategy worked really well here. You can see we're doing it, and most of the time works. Sometimes you hold block and he does still throw the special attack, so you got to be prepared for that, especially because most of the time we'll be unblockable, like whenever he has 10 or more prowess, I think. And he's also very likely to throw it right after knocking him down, which we do from the special 2. He is fully bleed immune, so we're not gonna throw any heavies because they won't do anything. But yeah, it is a bit of a struggle getting through. I probably could have soloed if I fought this guy multiple times. This was my first ever time fighting him with Warlock. You're seeing right now. So I had a pretty good idea of what my strategy was going to be, but I definitely did screw up a few times. I ate a few hits, and that meant we did have to revive once. But I was still happy with that result. I think, you know, compared to like other much better options like Dr. Doom, and you would have seen Mojo in our first Summer of Pain Week 10 video. Mojo absolutely destroyed this fight, and you know, Warlock is much trickier to use against this guy, but it does work technically. It's not great, but it does the job. And you know, sometimes that's what you got to do when completing these objectives. You got to go into matchups which aren't ideal at all. But you know, just got to be able to adapt, improvise, and overcome those, which we were able to do here for the most part. I think we do eat a special soon. We've just taken a lot of hits in the block. That's where most of our health losses come from. And I said before that our main strategy has been 4 hit combos and then straight into blocking. Now we could have just done that the whole fight and not thrown any special attacks, because that means we wouldn't be knocking him down at all, and he'd be less likely to throw special attacks to go unstoppable. But I still wanted to throw some special 2s because they do quite a lot of damage. So yeah, we ended up dying there, but we got him most of the way down, so I'm pretty confident that we can finish him off on this attempt. But I was really happy with that first attempt. You know, it was the first time I've ever used Warlock against this guy, and it's a really not a good matchup for Warlock at all on paper. But yeah, we did opt to throw special 2s because that's just where a lot of the damage does come from. You know, we can't do any damage from bleeds, and this is really... And he's also armor break immune, which is a real pain. But the special 2s still do a decent amount of damage for what they're worth. Especially since we do have boosts running now. And those boosts... So we didn't have them for Mr. Sinister, but these boosts will last onto the Grandmaster as well. Should be good. Make that fight even easier. So yeah, last 10%. Hopefully one more special 2 can finish him off. In fact, I think it does. Yep, there we go. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that in the end. Just using the 1 revive. Alright, so now we're on the Grandmaster. And the linked node we activated for this guy this time is one that gives us an extra 50% attack for each token of competence that we have, but it also gives him an extra 30% attack for each token we have. Now, you're really not going to notice the 30% additional attack that much. You know, it can add up, you know, with block damage and stuff. I don't know what I was doing here. I kept parrying and throwing light attacks when I really shouldn't have. But yeah, so this is probably the easiest Grandmaster fight out of all of them, just because of the link node. You know, we do have such like a lot of attack from the tokens of competence. I was only able to get 9 this time, so you know, if I had played this first phase a bit better, I could have definitely got him down to 80% on the one attempt on the one wounded phase, but we didn't. But we got our act together here. We do a lot more medium intercepts. We get up to at least a dozen tokens, I want to say, before he throws a special one. So yeah, you really won't notice the 30% attack that he gets too much. Just because you can get through the phases so much quicker than normal. So we want to ban the parry, one more parry I think, and then he'll throw the special one. And I was reasonably confident that we could get him down to his second phase right now. You know, we've got 200k mediums for only 15 tokens, which is pretty decent. The boosts are helping a tiny bit as well. I had a couple hits when he was unblockable, which is a real shame, but luckily we didn't have any tokens then, so his attack wasn't modified in any way. We get the intercept off here, I think. We just get in the nick of time. Yep. And Warlock he's probably been the most ideal option we've had for the Grandmaster so far. Mainly because of his access to damage over time debuffs. Because that makes this phase much easier. Obviously he's not like reverse controls immune or whatever, but I'm still fairly confident with reverse controls. So we do throw the special one to give him the damage over time effect, and then like a genius I push into a special 2 and he immediately throws it. I don't know what I was doing there. I just completely switched off my brain. And yeah, I didn't even realize how much power he had, but yeah, that was a real stupid death there. But hopefully we can do a bit more damage than that on this attempt, even though he's just hitting me at random intervals. So yeah, we can. I wasn't really sure in terms of inflicting a damage over time effect. I wasn't sure we could probably heavy counter his heavy with our heavy, but I was a bit wary of the attack rating that he had from all of our tokens, so I thought just going for the special one would be safer. So that's what we do during the second phase, is just throw that special one. It does cost us 5% health from recoil, but that's not the end of the world. You know, we probably would be taking around that much through the block from trying to bait out a heavy attack. So we're up to 18 tokens now, 19 as he goes wounded. So hitting 250,000 mediums, which is awesome. And we get him all the way down to 56%. So that was half of phase 2 done in one wounded phase, which is really nice. I don't know how he hit me with that heavy attack, but he did. I don't think I've ever been hit by his heavy attack before. It really caught me off guard. Obviously I knew that you can't power control Grandmaster like that with a special one, so I don't know what I was doing. That's the second time we've died from his special attacks. It's ridiculous. I don't know what I was doing. That time we let him go to a special 3. I I I really like surprise myself when I can get more than one wounded phase in before dying. Really these days, I don't know what it is. I think, you know, I've had trouble with this guy, just his AI in the past few days and the last week, but this today was all me. Definitely, there was nothing wrong with his AI really. I mean, we did have a bit of trouble in the third phase. I think he held to a special 3 once, but that was about it. Everything else they were all my fault for the deaths. But this has still definitely our most successful run, mainly because of the link node that we get to the Grandmaster. Just because we have so much attack, makes the fight go so much quicker. So we gain a buff there. We've just got one more mission to go. We do have 18 tokens, so I was very confident that we could get him down to 30% once he goes wounded from us completing the next mission. It is inflicted damage effect, so we will want to I think we do actually let the mission fail this time, just to preserve a bit more health. And obviously, because even if the mission fails, he's still going to go wounded, and we still have 21 tokens, which is more than enough. And that's what we do. Almost 300,000 mediums, and he goes very easily down to 30%. So we're starting at a good spot. We only lost a tiny bit of health so far this revive. We've done really well so far. And so the inverted controls timer has started ticking down. I think it goes for 30 seconds. But we want to get these 5 missions done as quickly as possible. Stand still is the first mission we get. That's one of my more favoured missions to get, because it's really easy to do. Backdash I'm not a fan of, but we do get it done. Right after the special attack, which he throws pretty willingly, which is good. We always like to see that. We get that last backdash in for a medium backdraft. He was quick to the block there, which is great. So only 2 missions to go. And I want to get another special one out of him right now, please. Please, sir. Throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it. I think he does throw it. No, he doesn't. He goes for special 2. Oh, that's right. He wouldn't throw a special 1 at all. And I think he holds to a special 3. But we do get in a wounded phase here, and we got 300,000 mediums. Only with 8 tokens, which was really nice. But yeah, he just didn't want to throw any specials at all right here. Like even a special 2. I thought he'd be throwing the special 2, but nah. He just holds to the special 3. So that was really annoying, but we were still able to get in half of phase 3 done in that attempt, as well as the rest of phase 2 we got without dying. And so ideally we'd get him down to phase 4 on this attempt in his next set of 5 missions, which means we will probably have to deal with one more lot of reverse controls, but that's not the end of the world. So we got 2 missions done. I missed the special 1 dex there. I was just a bit too early on that. So we do get 3 blunders there, but you know, it's not, we can still survive. It's not 5 blunders yet. We get the special 1 dex that time. We do have to perform 2 well-timed blocks, so I want to get those in right now. We only have we get it in right with a second to spare, so that was good. We didn't want to get another blunder really. Get the standstill mission done, and he throws the special right before going inverted. Luckily, he threw it when there was still a bit of time left on the timer, so I actually knew which way to dodge. But now we're inverted. We have to strike into his block, so he lets us do that, which is great. And then we throw the special 3 straight away, just to see how much that would do. And then the plan is just to get the rest of the damage done while he's wounded. And sure enough, he goes down to 1%. So we're in the last phase now, which is great. We only use 5 revives, I think. I might be wrong, but I think we've only used 5 revives on this path, which is definitely my most successful. A lot more successful than the Corvus run last time. That was a nightmare. But yeah, I was really happy with this run. You know, if you're struggling for the tech objective and you have a Warlock, he's great. He is great for that Sinister path. Obviously, I know not everyone has rank 3 max sig Warlock, but you know, even a 5-star would be awesome for this. So there we go. That's it. So we've done 4 objectives now. We are in the second week of the boss rush, if that's what we're going to call it. So we do have two objectives to go. We've got the skill objective and the mutant objective. So I'll see you guys in those videos. Peace out.